Test 1. Speaking. Part 1. The examiner asks you about yourself, your home, work or studies, and other familiar topics. Example. International food. First, can you find food from many different countries where you live? I can, because Bale Endah and the larger area of Bandung is well known for its rich and diverse culinary scene, but it primarily focuses on local and regional specialties. You'll find a wide variety of delicious and unique West Javanese Sundanese dishes, such as seblak, batagor, cireng, etc. You can also find some international influences in the local cuisines, such as dishes with Chinese or Middle Eastern origins that have been adapted to local tastes. For example, some noodle dishes and certain types of rice may show Chinese influence, while things like kabuli rice may be inspired by Middle Eastern cuisines. While you can find some international food options, especially in the larger city of Bandung, selection may not be as extensive as a major global cities. This because the local economy and culture strongly prioritize and promote West Japanese culinary tradition. Okay, second, how often do you eat typical food from other countries? Nope, I just like a local food, obviously. Because a local ingredient and dishes is a significant part of the regional culture and economy. Therefore, while people in the area might occasionally try international food, their daily diet and frequent dining experience are heavily focused on rich and diverse flavor on their own country. Number three, have you ever tried making food from another country? Nope, cause I think it was a quite troublesome. But if I want, I just deliver online by a GoFood. Number four, what food from your country would you recommend it to people from other countries? Of course, nasi goreng, because it's easy to make and the taste is acceptable to all groups. Speaking part 2. Describe a law that was introduced in your country and that you thought was a very good idea. You should say what the law was, who introduced it, when and why it was introduced, and explain why you thought this law was such a good idea. You will have to talk about the topic for 1 or 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. Okay. One such law is Law Number 35 of 2014 concerning child protection. It calls Undang-Undang Nomor 35 Tahun 2014 tentang perubahan atas Undang-Undang Nomor 23 Tahun 2022 tentang perlindungan anak. What the law was is this law is an amendment to the previous law number 23 of 2002 on child protection. Its core purpose to provide and change protection for children against various forms of violence, exploitation, discrimination, and neglect. It expanded to the scope of protection, increased penalties for child-related crime, and strengthened the government's role in fulfilling children's rights. Key aspects include definition of child abuse, procedure for reporting, the establishment of child protection instruction, and emphasis of the best interest of the child. Who introduced it? The law was passed by the House of Representatives Dewan Perwakilan Rakyat or DPR of the Republic of Indonesia. As with all laws, it was a collective effort by the legislative body, proposed and debated by the various factions and commissions within the DPR. When it was introduced, it was enacted and officially promulgated on October 17, 2014. Why it was introduced? The 2014 amendment was introduced primarily due to the increasing concern over child abuse, exploitation, and neglect in Indonesia. Okay, nice. Now we're going to part 3. Discussion topic: School rules. Example questions. What kind of rules are common in a school? Schools commonly have rules about behavior, attendance, and academic integrity to maintain a safe and effective learning environment. The rules are crucial for teaching children about responsibility and preparing them for life outside of school. When rules are broken, it's best to have a system consequence that is fair, consistent, and focused on teaching the student how to make better choice in the future. Oh, nice. Number 2. How important is to have a rule in a school? Having rules is in a school is incredibly important for several reasons. Rules create a structured and predictable environment where students know that expected of them, which help them feel safe and secure. This allows them to focus on learning without distraction. Beyond safety and order, school rules are vital for a child development. They teach important life skills such as self-discipline, respect for authority, and accountability. By following rules, students learn how to behave appropriately and communicate, preparing them for the roles they encounter in the workplace and society as adults. Number 3. What do you recommend shall happen if children break school rules? When a child breaks a school rules, that reason should be constructive, not just a punitive. Secondly, topic: working in the legal profession. Example question. Can you suggest why many students decide to study law at university? Hmm. Okay. Students are drawn to law for several compelling reasons. First, intellectual challenge and skill development. Law degrees are known for being academically rigorous, appealing to students with enjoy critical thinking, analysis, and problem solving. It harnesses skill and research, logical reasoning, and effective communication. Second, the first career opportunities. While becoming a lawyer is the most obvious path, a law degree provides highly transferable skills that are valid across numerous sectors. Graduates can pursue career in business, government, journalism, human research, international organization, and even technology. To be a successful lawyer, a person generally needs combination of strong intellectual abilities and well-developed interpersonal skill. Now, what are the key personal qualities needed to be a successful lawyer? To be a successful lawyer, a person generally needs combination of strong intellectual abilities and well-developed interpersonal skill like first, excellent communication skill. Number 2, strong analytical and critical thinking skill. Number 3, attention to detail. Number 4, preference and relations. Number 5, creativity and problem solving. Number six, good judgment. Number seven, integrity and ethic. And the last, empathy and compassion. The last question: do you agree that working in the legal profession is very stressful? Oh, yes, of course. Working in the legal profession is widely considered to be very stressful. Several factors contributed to this is like high stake and pressure, demanding workloads and long hours, emotional tools, adversarial nature, and constant learning and work-life balance challenge. The demands of the job often make it difficult for lawyers to maintain a healthy work-life balance, leading to potential burnout, anxiety, and depression if not managed effectively. Okay, nice for attention. Thank you and bye bye.